Hello, welcome to the show. This is Hack Hunter, where we review some of the best and worst tattoo artists in your cities. Now, in this episode, one of our viewers wrote in from Daytona Beach, Florida. He wanted our help finding an awesome artist. We found an incredible artist in part number 1, so go check it out if you want to see who we recommended. But while we were out there in the Daytona Beach area, we came across an artist that we just had to show you. You're not going to want to miss this one, guys. Let me introduce Sharon, aka Ink Brat. You can find her working at About You Custom Tattoo in Deland, Florida. It is just right outside of Daytona Beach there. And if you want to see their Facebook page, About You Custom Tattoo on Facebook. I could not find their Instagram, or their website does work, but it's really kind of a janky website. And on the website it says here that Ink Brat is a tattoo artist, a piercing artist, and a web designer. Now, I've told you guys in the past, I am not a big fan of it when an artist does both piercing and tattooing. I tend to think that they do a half-assed job at both. I'm not saying the perfect one doesn't exist, but that's been my experience, and I'll let you judge for yourself. If you want to check out her portfolio, Ink Brat Colors, Ink Brat _colors on Instagram. Always do your own research, guys, but let me show you what I found. So, let's start off with this one, shall we? Now, this is just marker, right? This guy came in and he had some lettering here on his rib cage. He wanted to cover it up with a giant koi fish. She drew this on with really thick, blotchy Sharpies. This is really very inaccurate freehand work here. I'm not a fan of this. We've seen it before in the past where some artists will use these big fat markers like this in such a blurry way. This is not a great way to custom design something on people. And when I look at the line work, you can see what I mean. When you got such a fat, thick line reference, it is very hard to be accurate with your lines. And you can see there's just lines missing. They're all kind of scraggly looking, and not to mention this is terrible placement to cover this up. The K is right there on the fish's forehead. The fish has this weird straight stretched out look to the body. Let me show you how it turned out after she started shading it. Oh my god, she just blacked out the letters. Completely unnecessary to do it like this. I know she was going for like maybe one of those calico looking kois with the black speckles throughout, but man, this is just going to be a complete nightmare. I can't show you the colored version. She didn't have that on her website posted yet, but I can already tell this is going to be horrible. Now, a lot of her stuff was stuff like this. Somebody came in to cover up this horrible scorpion tattoo, and she gave them an even worse scorpion tattoo to cover it up. What the heck? Again, really just scratchy, blurry, blotchy looking work. Now, let me remind you guys, this is an artist who's been working for over 10 years, okay? I believe it was 12, 13 years they said on her website. And here's another cover-up. Somebody wanted to cover up this gangster-ass tattoo, and this is what she did. Whoa, my god, just heavy, muddied up, blotchy looking. This is obviously an artist that should have no place trying cover-ups. Well, if you ask me, tattooing in general, some of the stuff that I saw was just too rough. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look at how blotchy and weird this owl's face is. Tiny little beak on it. The eyes are cross-eyed, and all the feathers and texture in here is just really just scratched in. This does not show that she has learned anything in 10 years. It was mind-blowing to me to see an artist like this with absolutely no skill when it comes to the application technique. When I zoom in, you can see all those line errors. Places where the lines are not deep enough. Places where she's doubling over lines, trying to fix poorly done lines. And then half of them are just not at the proper depth. All these little scraggly lines, those are going to completely disappear when this heals, because they're not at the proper depth. And I do not know how an artist can get this far in their career doing line work that poorly. Look at this, lines on a neck. We all know necks are very, very difficult, and so when an artist who is already having trouble doing lines tries it on a neck, this is what you get. Look at that, some of them aren't even outlined fully. They're just kind of scratched in. This to me looks like somebody tattooing out of their kitchen. This should not be somebody that's working at a studio and has been tattooing for many, many years. I'm guessing the roses on this person's chest was also done by her, just judging how gnarly it looks. I'm guessing that's probably her handiwork as well. Now, here's one that some of you, if you're tattoo artists, might recognize this. Here's an image of a wolf, and it's supposed to be it's misty breath blowing in the dark night. Let me show you what reference she used. So you can see point blank, night and day difference between the two. This is the reference that customer brought in and said, hey, can you do this for me? And she said, sure, bam. Ugh, that is nowhere near what the customer asked for. That is just gnarly. And I hate to see it when artists like this are attempting things they just should not be attempting. For example, here is something that she, in her title, said is a custom sleeve design that she was adding to. No, it's not. This isn't a sleeve. This is a jumbled mess of a collage of crap that you've just scratched into this person's skin. It is just shocking to me that customers are not boycotting a place like this, but I think a lot of times customers are just naive. A lot of her compilations of larger work had the same scratchy, etchy look to it. I saw over and over again. Just the same kind of garbage work. And it just shocks me. And I saw this in a review. A customer posted this review on their Facebook. All bloody, messy, nasty, blotchy colors. I'm hoping that the names are at least spelled right, because the customer then said, Sharon is a great artist, very friendly, great experience. What? What are you talking about? I'm not seeing what you're seeing. That is insane. And now I went back 10 years to see what the work looked like. Here's one that was done in 2012. Look at that. Same exact thing we're seeing today. So you're telling me an artist, after over 10 years, is still putting out the same scratchy, etchy work, has not learned how to fill color properly, has not learned how to make consistent line work? This was just shocking to me. Red flags all over the place, you guys. And I hate to see it. This is what we made our show for, just to warn people about artists like this. Now, here's one where a client came in and asked her to recolor the tattoo, and I actually got to see a video of how she tattoos. Look at that technique. That is terrible. That is an artist who was never taught how to color anything properly at all. And if you ask me, also her machine should be covered and all that, but that technique is just insane. Let me just play that again for you guys. She's using the edge of her shader, and she's just dabbing it in there so rapidly. That is absolutely not how color should be applied. And that's why this came out looking like this, just weird and blotchy and patchy and bloody. Very, very disappointing to see. Now, I think it goes without saying that Sharon, aka the Ink Brat at About You Custom Tattoo there in Deland, Florida, she absolutely goes on our hack list. And I just want to take a second to say to any of the viewers out there that when we put an artist on the hack list, it's a very strict decision. We don't take that lightly, and these are not artists whose artwork that say I just don't like them. These are artists who I strongly believe should not be tattooing. And I got a team of artists here that work with me. We try to find these kind of artists to warn you guys about, because just because an artist like this is working out of a studio, just because they have 10 plus years experience, they obviously don't always know what they're doing. So we just want to put them on the hack list as a way to warn you guys, this is not a tattoo artist. This is not what a professional looks like. So go ahead and check out part number 1 if you want to see an artist that we recommended out there. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next city, guys. Bye-bye.